Hello and welcome to the 24th episode of the Under the Umbrella podcast from the Big Green Umbrella Media Studio. We are your hosts, Cody Williams, Cityview reporter with
Tammy Pearson, Iowa Living Magazine's editor.
Tammy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Cody.
Did you survive the heat yesterday?
I did. Thank goodness for air conditioning. That's all I can say.
And you know what? Actually, now that you mention that, sorry, I'm messing with my microphone quite a bit. I'm all out of sorts. I just saw something yesterday because heat waves are hitting Europe pretty bad right now too, and they always criticize the United States for having air conditioning, and now
yes,
they're really wanting some air conditioning and they're calling for it.
That's right. I used to live in Germany, and we did not have air conditioning, and I don't remember minding it. But now that the weather is changing over there, maybe it's time to invest in European air conditioners, Cody. Let's get in.
Oh, let's get some stocks.
Now.
There's got to be a big manufacturer out there.
There has to be.
Tammy, that's genius.
Oh.
We're going to be rich.
We are.
Yeah. Do you know why they don't have air conditioning? Is it just a cultural thing, or
no? It's just that temperatures weren't typically outrageous, and so not like Iowa where you have your 100-degree summer days,
right?
So there you go, Cody.
How about that? Well, what I did want to share, I didn't put it on here, but with the stories we're currently working on, I did interview a couple of people yesterday for one of the upcoming stories we have. I won't spoil too much, but I spoke with some Parks and Rec directors who gave me a lot of really good information, and a professor had a really productive day yesterday. Got a lot done. Talked to a lot of people.
Awesome.
Isn't that nice?
I'm looking forward to that story, which you do not wish to elaborate upon.
Got to keep it a secret, We can't let we got to build the hype.
That's right.
There's Parks and Rec directors in my contact, I guess.
And we have to wait until July, the beginning of July, to hear all about it.
Mm-hmm, that first Thursday, isn't it? I think that might be the 4th.
Yes, 4th of
Happy
July
Independence
is
Day.
Thursday. So
wow, how about that?
Coming up here.
Well, with all that said, let's hop right into it, Tammy.
Oh, let's do, Cody.
I feel like we talked about this a little bit earlier, but this report came out, another one from Iowa Capital Dispatch. 1 in 4 Iowa students are chronically absent. Iowa's rate of 26% is better than the national average of 30%, but both are still higher than pre-pandemic national average, the pre-pandemic national average of 16%. I feel like we talked about that earlier.
We did. We did.
Like right when the school year ended. I feel like that's something we spoke about.
And we were stunned by the numbers, weren't we?
Yeah, I saw that report going out on a couple of different outlets around here, and I was like, it's big news. It's obviously not good that 26% of kids are considered chronically absent, but I was like, I thought we knew this.
But the national average is 30%. That means that half of the states are higher than 30%.
Yeah.
That's, wow.
What are they doing? Where are they going? Go to school.
Why? And what aftermath of the pandemic has resulted in this happening?
I wonder if it's just because kids got accustomed to staying home and having school at home or from their computers, or feeling that they probably don't need to be inside of the classroom to get their work done. That's probably my guess.
Well,
because I don't think there were any stats.
Parents were glad that school was back.
That's certainly true. Because I don't think that there were any stats about, quite as jarring as this, if graduation rates were dropping or anything of that nature. So, but you still have to go to school. You got to go to school.
If for no other reason than to hang out with your besties.
Right. Have a little school spirit.
Yeah, it's sad. We need to do something. We need to make some changes, fundamental changes, I think.
But no phones.
That's right.
That's going to bring them right back into the classroom.
Oh, goodness.
It does need some changes, though. But speaking of education, speaking of a place of higher learning, CyTown. CyTown. The CyTown project gets support from the Board of Regents. The board's Property and Facilities Committee recommended approval Wednesday for ISU to enter into a lease agreement with an anchor, a quote, anchor tenant, and sign a memorandum. Did I say that right?
You did.
Look at me. A memorandum of understanding with the City of Ames for CyTown. That's very exciting. I know you just looked at the plans some, and I've looked at them quite a bit too, or maybe not the plans, but the
artist renderings.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
It really does.
Mhm.
I just wonder how that will impact campus town businesses. I wonder how businesses in other districts feel about it.
That's a good question, yeah, because their plan is to bring in restaurants, bars, all kinds of stuff like that, and have a big game day experience, kind of like the Power and Light District down in KC. I think that's their, kind of their goal, to have it look like something like that. And as someone who's been there, I mean, it'd be pretty cool to have that up in Ames. But yeah, that's a good point. I wonder how the other area businesses, kind of like the places on Welch Avenue, they get a ton of business on game days, those bars and those restaurants, how they feel about it.
Yes.
What if they just move over there? They probably won't move. They want to be close to campus, I imagine.
Yeah, it'll be a dilemma for them.
It will. Or hopefully, just brings enough demand that they can all coexist and harmonize.
And prosper.
That'd be pretty nice. But
We
that's
hope
exciting.
so.
Did you see when you looked up? I should have looked up when projections on that are expected, when that's to be done. It's not for a while, is it?
I just looked at the pretty pictures.
The pictures were very pretty.
Yes.
Let me
And
try
it
to
was
find.
like a flyover view of what it will be like.
Oh,
Pretty awesome.
pretty awesome. Fall of 2026.
Oh, that's
That is what I'm seeing here from the Iowa State University website.
wow. Very good.
Very good stuff. That'll be a lot of fun. Speaking of Iowa State's involved in a lot of sports. I didn't talk about their sports in the sports section. But we've got sports news, Tammy.
We do have sports news.
North and Hoover are going to be co-oping for baseball this season. I think that's so interesting because, as you know, all the DMPS schools, we've got our long-standing rivalries that have lasted 100 years, and to see them co-oping for such a major sport is really surprising to me.
Yes. Tell me why. I mean, it's not a lack of numbers.
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Yeah, it's a lack of numbers. I believe Hoover didn't have enough. If I'm remembering,
wow.
I should have really did my research, but one of the two schools didn't have enough players to field a team, which it's also strange that we're here. I feel like I also already knew this because my friend is a baseball coach and he told me about this, and I was quite surprised, and I was surprised to see that we're hearing about it just now. Baseball season's been going on for a month.
Yes. So they started this year.
I think so. Maybe even last year, but
Wow.
it's interesting to see.
Baseball was always one of those sports that it seemed like all the boys wanted to go out for.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I feel like the sport that has been the most affected by low numbers over the past couple of years has definitely been football, because it's just a little bit more violent. It's a little bit more injury inducive. Baseball is one of those sports that I feel like a lot more people could generally go out for, and I don't know.
It's the all-American game,
Right,
right?
it's our pastime.
Well, maybe those students that are chronically absent were the baseball players
Maybe
of the
so.
school.
Maybe so.
Well, what else is happening in sports?
Well, speaking of stickball sports, ball hitting, stick, throwing, rounding bases, fielding pop-ups, Tammy, Iowa high school softball. I misspoke on our prep sheet. There was not a baseball game, but high school softball game was played at the Field of Dreams for the first time, Tammy. It was
I
DSM
saw
Lincoln
that.
versus Iowa City High.
Now tell me, do you know what year Field of Dreams was filmed?
The
or
movie?
Released? Yeah, the movie.
1989.
How did you knew that?
I read when I read the article, and I've seen Field of Dreams. I watched the movie.
Yes.
Amazing movie.
Well, I just wondered if younger people had seen that movie, or if they were thinking, where are we going? What's so special about this place?
That was one of the things in the article that I read, was that none of the Lincoln kids had seen the movie before, so the coach held a
Oh.
movie night the night before and made everybody watch it. And a lot of them were like, all right, that's cool, I guess. I guess we're going to go play there. And I think the Iowa City High coach said something around the lines of like 40% of the kids knew about it, and then they watched it. And they were like, oh, we'll watch it now that we've played there. The Field of Dreams was a huge deal to me growing up. We went out and visited it when I was a kid and,
Wow.
rounded the bases and did all that fun stuff.
Because that was 35 years ago, before you even were born, Cody,
Yeah.
let alone high school students of today.
It's because I went to school and they taught me about the Field of Dreams.
Well,
I showed up and they said, hey,
You
there's a
were
baseball
not
field and a cornfield.
chronically absent.
No, only slightly absent. They do a lot of cool stuff out there, the Field of Dreams, too. I know they've hosted a couple MLB games in recent memory, and it's really cool to see them do that and do cool stuff like this. And it was the Lincoln High School coach, softball coach, who kind of got the ball rolling on this project. So that was, made me proud of my alma mater.
There you go. Yes.
Mhm.
And who won the game?
Lincoln. Lincoln won the game 5-1.
Wow.
Shout out
Good
the good
for
guy,
them.
or the good girls, I should say. I always like to say the good guys are winning, but the good girls won the game. They beat the dreaded Iowa City High something or others. Let's move on to entertainment news, Tammy.
Oh, yes, please.
Club Car, Luddy's Tavern, Tacos and Tequila La Cava, Mexican Gastro Bar, and Whiskey House were all Ankeny restaurants that closed this month. And this is something that I saw some people talking about. There's going to be a lot of restaurant closures this summer. We've already talked about them a little bit in other podcasts, and that trend kind of seems to continue.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, four for an area like Ankeny that's growing so much, too. You wouldn't think that they would have restaurant closures like that.
Good point, because it is such a growing community.
And maybe there's new ones opening in their place in other areas, but I just thought that was pretty interesting. A lot of restaurant closings in a burgeoning community.
Whoa, good word choice.
That was a good one.
Cody.
You like that? That's a pretty great word. In other entertainment news, because you seem to not want to include such incredible information in the Daily Umbrella, Tammy, Joey Chestnut and Takeru Kobayashi are going to compete in a one-on-one hot dog eating contest on Netflix coming soon. This, of course.
I can't wait.
I mean, how could you? I mean, Joey Chestnut's an American hero.
And our circulation manager, Mike,
Mm-hmm.
has been following this carefully.
Mm-hmm.
But I, on the other hand,
And it's interesting because Joey Chestnut just was banned from the big hot dog eating competition because he endorsed a vegan brand, and Kobayashi just retired recently. He
also
retired.
this is like bringing back the all-time greats, like
Yeah.
a boxing match where you have these legends who haven't boxed in ages.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting back in shape and getting into the action.
Yeah, and I hope I'm quoting the right person, but I believe it was him who just retired recently, Kobayashi. When he was asked about it, his quote was, "I'm not hungry anymore." If it wasn't him, it was another very prominent hot dog eating competition person. And I mean, either way you swing it, that's a legendary quote.
It is.
Well, Tammy,
Well,
it's the long-awaited return of rapid fire Iowa trivia.
oh,
I've
yay.
got my true or false statements here of fun Iowa facts. I've got 10 of them. I'm gonna rattle them off to you, and you have to give me your answer as quickly as possible, and we'll see how you do.
Don't get tricky on me, Cody.
I tried to keep it fair. Even some of them, I rewrote them as I was doing them because I was like, okay, that's a little silly. That's a little ridiculous.
All right, happy clap.
Happy clap. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Number 1, Iowa is the only state name that starts with 2 vowels.
Yes.
That's true. There are 90,000 farms in Iowa.
90,000.
90,000.
I'm going to have to say False.
That's right. It's false. It's 85,000 though. Pretty close. At least according, I think
Wow.
the thing that I read it was from 2017. So maybe there's 5,000 more farms.
Oh.
But that was the information I had
bet
to go
there's
off
fewer
of.
now.
Oh, maybe fewer.
Yep. More larger farms taking over.
That's true. There are over 100 wineries in Iowa.
Yes.
That is true. A lot of great ones out there too. 20% of Iowa's power comes from wind power.
False.
That's false. That's right. What's the answer?
15%.
25.
Oh, it's more.
It's much more. They're one of the leaders. We are.
Oh, wow.
Where am I at? Iowa is home to the world's largest concrete bowl statue.
Yes.
That is true. Iowa is in the top 3 in the country in terms of motorcycle ownership.
Top 3?
Top 3.
Per capita, is that, or is it total?
I believe it's per capita.
I'll say yes.
It is true. You're killing it right now, Tammy. 6 for 6.
Don't jinx me.
The Tulip Festival in Orange City began after 1930.
Tulip Festival in Orange City?
In Orange City, not the one in Pella.
Oh, I will say it started before.
It started after, Tammy. You've missed one. I jinxed you right at... Oh,
shucks.
I'm the worst.
You are.
According to the Travel Channel, Iowa is in the top half of the most haunted states.
Oh, yes.
You know, this is my bad. They made their list really poorly, and I didn't even think to go back and check. They had 10 states tied for certain spots. So Iowa was tied at 23.
Okay.
But I think they were probably a little bit higher. So I'm going to say I think you're right that Iowa is in the top half.
Say I'm right.
You're right. There are 9 different types of bat species in Iowa.
Oh,
I suppose
sure.
I shouldn't say types. That is true. I should just say different species of bat types. There's another one.
Bats.
Why?
Why?
They're scary.
No, they're not.
Ooh.
They eat all those mosquitoes and whatnots.
And that's a big problem. We have a big mosquito problem right now with all the rainwater lately and high temperatures.
We love the bats.
We love the bats. Last one. The first vending machine was invented by an Iowan.
Yes.
That's true. Did you actually know that?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Tammy, you went 9 for 10.
And only because you jinxed me did I miss the one.
That is my bad. I'm the worst.
Oh, well. I'll take it.
That's 9 out of 10. Your track record, Tammy,
math.
Your track record is pretty undeniable. Those following along at home, if you beat Tammy, make sure to tell me. Well, let's move swiftly on to what's coming up, Tammy. We've got some interesting events coming on. There is. The Johnston Green Days are this weekend. They start today, I believe. They go through the 15th. A lot of fun stuff going out there. Paint the Town Green. That's a fantastic community festival.
At Terra Park.
At Terra Park, that's right. A lot of good stuff out there. Iowa Juneteenth's Embrace the Race 5K is tomorrow at Grace Lake. The 10th annual Bacon Ride, Baccoon. Sorry, I did that last year too when I was learning about this. The 10th annual Baccoon Ride, the ride to Baccoon Reedaville, is occurring. That'll be in Raccoon River Park. And the Menace and Barnstormers both play on Saturday at their respective arenas.
I wish they would have a Baccoon walk.
They probably
in a
do.
very limited space, like one block, so that I could just go eat bacon.
Oh, that sounds good. You're getting me high. I haven't eaten breakfast or lunch. That's making me really hungry.
Bacon.
Well, that's all I've got, Tammy. Oh. What do you? Do you got anything to say to the good people at home?
Oh, eat an apple today.
Eat an apple today. An apple a day keeps the Tammy away. That's what they say.
Okay.
That's what they told me. Well, that's going to do it for us. Make sure to eat an apple. We want to say thank you for listening from everyone at Big Green Umbrella Media. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can read Cityview stories at www.dmcityview.com. If you see a copy at one of our 800 rack locations, pick it up, give it a read, reach out to us, and you can subscribe to The Daily Umbrella at www.thedailyumbrella.com/subscribe. If you have a story suggestion or would like to make a comment, you can send those to editor@dmcityview.com. Thank you and goodbye.